Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Sarah and I'm very excited to be joined by Phoebe, Bekker and James Hernandez.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Hello.
So how was your off season?
How was our off season? It was good. It was good fun actually. It was all of last season we were kind of just waiting until off season. Because that was our first season together and we really needed just some time where we didn't have to run through the programs, and we just desperately needed a few months of basically figuring out how to skate together properly outside of programs. And then Junior Worlds was postponed and then postponed some more, and we were like, oh my gosh, next season's off season is getting shorter and shorter.
We've had a really long season, so personally I was looking forward to off season quite a lot. I was like, I'm done with running through programs right now. The off season is exciting because you just get to work on new programs. You get to. It
feels like the ceiling that you have all season is then gone.
Yeah.
Which is is nice. It's nice. You feel like the second you stop doing the old programs, it's like you're a new skater again, and you're where your limits are is completely changed. So yeah, it was actually really good fun, and the weather's been really lovely. Hopefully, as you can see, it's been a good combination of we've got a lot done, and we've enjoyed ourselves as well, and yeah.
Awesome. So as you mentioned, you are still a fairly new team. How did you partner up?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So how much detail do you want to go into? So in September of 2020, I got a call from Penny Coombs, which is our current coach now, and there was a recent split between James and his old partner, and she called my mum up at midnight one night, and she was like, oh, James and his old partner have just split, and we are wondering whether Phoebe would be interested in coming over to America and staying with James. I feel like I've told this story so many times now. I was getting ready to move to France to skate with another guy, and she kind of intercepted 3 days before I was meant to leave. Bags were packed and everything, so I kind of dropped everything for James, basically.
And the hard thing was we couldn't actually this was during the first COVID lockdown, so I'd left the UK to come back to America on my own, but you couldn't travel between the two countries, so you had to do a 2-week quarantine in a non-banned US country. So I did Serbia and Croatia for 2 weeks, and an issue was I was in the US when we called Phoebe and she was in the UK, and the ice rinks were closed in the UK, so we couldn't do a tryout there. And also we knew that ultimately we wanted to, the plan was to train in the US, and it was just how to get Phoebe to America. So we actually met halfway in Serbia and spent longer than expected in Serbia quarantining, which is a bit strange because we both flew. Well, I flew back all the way from America to Serbia to meet someone I'd said hi to probably 4 times in my life. And then we came back to the States together. And yeah, that's how it went, really.
Yeah.
Kind of unorthodox.
Yeah, we just kind of I showed up in America and I was like, hope I'm good enough.
Let's hope this works.
So we like each other. But it worked.
How would you describe your first season together?
How would we describe first season together?
It's been really exciting, honestly. We started training our programs fairly early, around probably January, February.
Sorry, do you mean last season or this season?
Last season. The first season. Yeah.
You were never anywhere for any period of time.
We had a very traveling year.
Yeah.
Traveled a lot.
It was the most, possibly the worst setup for a competition season you could possibly have. We were back in the UK with coaches we weren't used to, but we did our absolute best and they did their absolute best. And then to get back to the States, we had to do 2.5 weeks in Turkey, where we couldn't get any ice time, and that was 2.5 weeks before our first JGP assignment.
And that was because of the COVID travel ban.
And we'd never competed together. We'd never done weeks of run-throughs together, and we were without our coaches. We were in a country that we couldn't get ice. It was shocking. And then when we got back here, we kind of got on the ice. Yeah, we got on the ice for the first day, and I think I just remember them both turning around and being like, "So this has not been ideal, but we're going to make it work." And we did. We had back-to-back JGPs, and it was so early, we really didn't have a chance to. It was like the first time we'd really done anything.
Yeah.
And then as the season went on, we found more consistency. We did more assignments, and we kind of found a groove, I think. We found a bit of a groove with training and competing. And ultimately, by the end of the season, by nationals, and then kind of by nationals, and then turn of the year into 2022, it was a lot better. It was a lot better, and we were training consistently and enjoying it. It wasn't so much, oh my gosh, like literally flights every week in and out of here. So yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, we started last year as a senior team. We were trying to aim for seniors. So we had 2 senior programs that we had for months until we kind of decided that we were going to stick with junior, which was the right choice ultimately. And because we had to change all of our programs, it was a bit hectic, wasn't it? And then, but yeah, we did get some consistency, and yeah, as the season went on, I felt like we definitely improved as a team that competed together. Like we never competed together, and we've never seen each other in that environment. So I felt like we did extremely well to understand what each other's needs.
Yeah, and we said ultimately our goal was top 10 at Junior Worlds. And we did that. So yeah, overall we were very happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Do you think it was good for you sort of just to get the Junior Grand Prix out of the way, or would you have preferred a bit of a later start with that?
Was that for this season or last season?
Last season.
I feel like we had the Grand Prix. We just kind of accepted what Grand Prix we had, I guess.
So we kind of threw us in a bit at the deep end, which, you know, there's pros and cons for that in every situation in sport especially. But
my first international competition ever was Junior Grand Prix Ljubljana.
Yeah.
Which was
there really was no time for this is just regular international, it's fairly laid back, and you've got a couple of practices. It was straight into the JGP, and then immediately the week after. And I got food poisoning in between the 2 events, and missed the first day and a half of practice at the second JGP. And I was so conscious the whole time that we'd done one competition together, and then all of a sudden I was down and out a bit, and we had to go again, put it together for our second JGP. We didn't have any time to dwell or work on the program. We just had to go and literally copy and paste and do it again. Yeah. So in that sense, I'm sure we would have liked maybe a little later. But circumstances dictated, and that's the kind of way we train and compete. Is we have to, whatever the situation, make the absolute best of it.
Yeah.
I really like that attitude. I think it's a really interesting look at your dynamic as well, that you both share that same point of view.
Yeah.
So looking into this season, how did you go about picking the music for it?
For the Prix, I think starting with Prix is easier. We had an upbeat Prix program last year,
and we were done.
we were done with it.
We're like this upbeat thing. We'll do it once.
No, but it was good fun whilst it lasted. But then we were
we want to show something a bit more mature.
We wanted mature, we're quite tall team, so we wanted something that showed off leg lines and more graceful artistry. So I mean, so for this season, we haven't actually announced it, but we're skating 4 Seasons by Vivaldi, but recomposed by Max Richter. It's something that's been done before, but we definitely had it on our list of possible programs that we wanted to do in the future.
And we thought, why not come out and show such a contrast to what we did last season? You know, we had the Elvis and then we had the Hollywood. It was like all very upbeat, and we really wanted to not go anywhere halfway with our free dance music this year and choose something that was like soft, but like we wanted to go with something that was recognizable and show that we can really skate to that. And as soon as we kind of just put it on when we were on the ice, I think we all kind of looked at each other and were like, yeah, this is going to work. Yeah, this is going to work.
It's a fun piece of music, especially Four Seasons itself. There's so many pieces of music that you can choose from, and obviously it's been done before, so we didn't want to do the same as what people have done previously. So we tried mixing it up with different tunes, and also we really wanted to get all 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, into the program.
And
so
hopefully, as you see, we've tried to do that.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's the plan.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing that then. With the rhythm dance, obviously a very different theme with it being Argentine. Did you go for a more traditional music that a lot of other teams have done, or did you go for something a bit different?
So we have gone for a really strong rhythm dance. A tango is like by nature kind of quite like soft and sultry, but we've completely taken it and gone with quite hard music,
like more hard flamenco.
Yeah, it's a hard flamenco with a strong tango as well, which we were fully aware when we sat down at the beginning of the season with our coaches and talked about the plan and things. Like, we were all fully aware of, if you go for a harder piece of music for the rhythm dance, like there will be people that are couples that are skating to like softer, slower pieces. By nature, like that is is a little different, and we knew the risks of doing something hard, but we love it. We love our rhythm dance, and it suits us really, really well, we think. And so very happy with the rhythm dance choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you take any extra like ballroom dance classes for it? How did you prepare for it?
So we knew that if we wanted to do something traditionally flamenco, we had to have some help. I mean, Nick and Penny, they've been great. Nick gets very into it.
It's his absolute favorite style.
It's his favorite style.
So it was incredible.
He's been great with choreographing everything. So we've really enjoyed working with him this year for that whole program, and both obviously. But we have been working with like an authentic flamenco dancer. She's been amazing. We've done a lot of off-ice stuff. A lot of stuff in the mirror. Because it's going through everything, every tiny detail. So we had like a whole lesson where we were just doing like
just on fingers and wrists.
Oh
and
my
by
gosh.
the end, we got in the car and we were like, I was like, I don't think I can drive us home. Like my wrists.
Because it was just like all wrists.
We couldn't
everything.
we couldn't have got here without her. Like it was such a different style for us. And for example, one day of the week, it just so happened that we had ballet followed by free dance on the ice, followed by our off-ice flamenco Spanish lesson.
2 hours.
And we were doing these hands, and she was like, she's a Mexican lady, and she was like, guys, why are your hands so balletic today? And we were like, we're really sorry. We just came from doing 4 seasons and ballet, and now we're doing the exact opposite, and everything's like down, and obviously everything in ballet is more up. So it's been, the contrast is definitely there, but that does, you can distinguish between them more.
We had her on the ice quite recently, and she basically just looked through our programs and made any slight changes that were just like,
but we did all of it off the ice.
Yeah,
and we changed all of it off the ice, and we realized for the first time, actually, we don't need to be on the ice for 6 hours with a dance teacher. We can achieve like basically everything off, and then take it on. And we only needed like an hour and 20, and we basically went through everything. So that was an interesting way for us to learn that a lot can be done off the ice as well.
Did you know you were going to be sticking with juniors this year, or did you have a thought about moving up to seniors?
So we did think about it because this will be our final season, junior, as I age out. Which is sad.
It's not very common that the guy ages out first.
I mean, I've done junior long enough.
I'm keeping the senior,
But yeah, we did definitely think about it. I think the opportunities of 2 spots at Europeans and Worlds is a big carrot almost, and that's something that we definitely looked at and went, you know what, that's a big opportunity. What do you think? And then kind of we really looked at last season. We looked at how we had such terrible preparation for the season, and I think we actually wanted to try and go for a season and prove with good training, with some consistency, what we can achieve, and that's still our goal right now. That is our goal for this season. We don't have numbers in place for mind. It's we want to prove what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also it's different because it's hard not to look at other competitors, but I mean, just from a season where there's going to be no Russians and a lot of people have aged out, like there's a massive gap for us to do like really well in juniors this year. So I think that overweighed the potential of going to Europeans and Worlds. And we kind of looked at it and we're like, try to get a Grand Prix medal, or you know.
Try to do absolutely push junior, and also for world points sake, because history has shown time and time again, like going into senior with solid world points, some people have got like senior Grand Prix in their first season just because of world points, and we actually didn't have a season of hardly any world points last year because we did 2 JGPs and then junior worlds, and kind of that was it really. So it was in our minds, but we're very set on what we're doing now.
You said you don't really sort of look at results going into Worlds, but going into this season, do you have in mind like where roughly you'd like to place? Like obviously you mentioned the medals.
Yeah, I think
we have opportunity to do really well in our first Grand Prix. We're competing in Ostrava, Czech Republic. So I mean, just from
really, we looked at the result from Junior Worlds and said, we never go into events and look at our entry list and go, oh, we're going to be there. Like that's something we don't do. It's something that we're really passionately. That's just not how to work. We actually looked at the result from Junior Worlds and said, okay, factually speaking, whatever anybody does, like those teams will not be here because they age out.
Exactly.
So at that point we go, okay, it's nice to see who you're competing against. You compete against people kind of throughout your career, but it's more of, we know where we were at Junior Worlds. We know the improvements we feel we've made. So that sets our sights differently. The beginning of last season, it was very much, let's get out there and we have no idea. We've never been seen before. We haven't skated in competition together. Whereas this season, we're setting high standards. We've planned, we've trained, and we are looking at the top of junior this year, right at the top.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to any specific competitions coming up? Do you know your second junior Grand Prix yet?
We do not really.
We don't exactly know, but we're trying to decide.
We know it's down to like 2 or 3.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously, like junior Grand Prix final is a massive, like, it's kind of like a big star, just like kind of there.
Incentive,
it's like, you can kind of grab it and you can kind of see it. But I think that would be an amazing achievement of the year. I'm not saying that it's like, it's a be all and end all, but it would be a massive, it would be a great achievement to achieve this year. I mean, we're just looking
forward to going to a new place. Like we've Czech Republic, I've never been to, you've never been to. And it's the first, it won't be our first event because we're doing the Britannica Cup in Sheffield. But it'll be the first main ISU event that we do, and it'll be in a new place, and the arena looks great. So we're really excited for that first one, actually.
Yeah. show off new programs.
How exciting is it to have like an ISU event in the UK that you can compete at?
The Sheffield, the senior Grand Prix.
The Britannica Cup.
Oh, okay, there you go. I mean, it's very exciting.
It's a first. It's an absolute first. Like, I can only speak for myself. I don't know how many years consecutively I've gone to Sheffield for either like the IJS/qualifier or for the British. And for the first time for it to be an ISU event and have, there's competitors on, not necessarily in our category, but in others that I've competed against and we've competed against like internationally, to have them in Sheffield is actually really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it because it's like Sheffield to us has been like exclusively like just British,
nationals,
like British, no one else, and it's really great that it's an international.
Yeah,
and it also slightly bigs it up for us as well. It's not just a test event, like it's an actual international that is going to go down on our profiles.
Yeah.
Did when Sheffield got the Grand Prix, I don't know how far along in your training you were for this junior season, but did you sort of think maybe we should go senior for this, or are you hoping they get it again next year as well?
It was like, oh, that would have been lovely, but we'd had our mindset. Programs were done. Programs are running through. The hope is that I've seen everything, and it looks like the planning is going really, really well, and everyone's very excited. And like we've got one of the rinks we train at here, one of the US ladies is competing in Sheffield, and it was like a really proud moment for us to say to her, "Oh, you're competing, where we go and where we compete."
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't bittersweet. It was like, oh, that's really exciting. Like, I think our families are going to go and watch.
Yeah, we'll be here, but
we won't be able to go back. But I think it's nice, like, for the families to go and watch and see the best.
Make sure they go, yeah.
And what's it like working with Penny and Nick?
They're great. Just like the amount of energy that they put into it, it's just unmatched. Like, it's the best way to describe it. Nick's there every morning with us for multiple hours a day.
Yeah, and recently it's been much more Nick because Penny's just had a baby, so that's news to everyone probably.
Yeah.
But she had a baby 2 months ago now, so throughout the latter stages of her pregnancy and then the last few months, we've seen her a little less. We've seen her on virtually, and she every video that Nick takes, she will send us a feedback text or like call us. So she's not in the rink as much at the minute. So Nick's kind of taken the charge there, but they're both very much still equally as involved, and like the passion that he brings and she brings as well with the technical aspect it's a very happy environment for all of us. Like we all feel like we can say things, we all feel like we can communicate honestly and openly, and we might train alone, we are really the only ice dance team at our rink, but the way that we work with Nick and Penny can definitely mitigates for having other teams.
Who are some of your ice dance idols, or just skating idols in general?
I've personally really loved Olivia Smart and Adrian Diaz this year. It was actually quite an honor because we got to work with her quite recently. She was in town, so Penny and Nick pulled a few strings, and I was fangirling a little bit. A little bit. I just love the way she skates. I feel like I can kind of, that's something that I would love to portray, like her confidence and her energy throughout both programs she's done this year. Like I really watched and kind of wanted to resonate with. So they're definitely a big one for me.
I have this is really cringy, and I'm not just saying it because I know he'll watch this, but like I have always watched like Nick skating and wanted to look like that, and I love how it's like a really kind of masculine, like elegance is the word to describe it. It's not crazy like skating and like pulling you all over the place. It's like an inner strength, and I like he has transformed my skating over the past 3 years. Actually, from the first time I worked with Nick, I was 15, so coming on 7 years ago was the first time I ever worked with him. But he's really transformed my skating and the path that I feel like it's on, like individually, I love. And sometimes when I go back and watch skating, I'll watch him and Penny skate, and I want to look like that. So that's great. Like if your coach every day is your idol and the person you want to look like when you're skating, that's perfect. Like so yeah.
Awesome. I think that's a great note to leave it on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much.